The stage lights of America's Got Talent were brighter than anything the old man had ever seen in his life. As he stood there, squinting slightly, the noise of the crowd felt like a distant ocean, loud yet strangely unreal. His hands trembled, not because of fear alone, but because those hands had carried decades of hardship, calluses from construction work, scars from fishing nets, and the silent weight of dreams long postponed. His name was Ernesto Reyes, a 72-year-old grandfather from a small coastal village in the Philippines, and this moment had taken his entire lifetime to arrive. Back home, Ernesto was not famous. He was not respected as an artist. He was simply known as Lolo Nestor, the man who fixed broken boats, sang softly to himself while sweeping dusty streets, and played an old guitar outside his wooden home when the power went out. His neighbors heard his voice often, but they never imagined it belonged anywhere beyond the narrow roads of their village. Ernesto himself never imagined it either. Life had taught him early not to dream too loudly. Ernesto grew up in extreme poverty. His childhood was shaped by hunger more than hope. School ended for him at the age of 10 when his father fell ill, forcing Ernesto to work in the fields and at the docks to help feed his family. Music entered his life not through lessons or training, but through an old radio his mother owned. Every night, as the family gathered around that radio, Ernesto heard songs from faraway places. American rock, country ballads, and soulful melodies became his escape. Among those songs, one stood out and etched itself into his soul forever. Hotel California. He did not understand every English word at first, but he understood the feeling. The haunting melody, the sense of longing, the idea of being trapped between dreams and reality. It felt like his life. Over time, Ernesto learned the lyrics by heart, singing them quietly as he worked, as if the song understood him when the world did not. Life moved on, as it always does. Ernesto married young, had 3 children, and worked endless jobs to keep food on the table. Music remained his secret companion. He sang at night, never during the day, never in front of crowds. His wife believed in him more than anyone, often telling him that his voice carried pain and beauty at the same time. She once told him, half joking and half serious, that one day people would listen. Ernesto laughed it off. Dreams were expensive, and he could barely afford rice. Then tragedy struck. A powerful typhoon swept through their village, destroying homes, boats, and livelihoods. Ernesto lost everything he owned, including his guitar. Worse than that, he lost his wife shortly after, her health weakened by stress and hardship. The man who once sang to survive now struggled to find a reason to sing at all. His children moved away to find work, leaving Ernesto alone with memories and silence. Years passed. Ernesto aged quickly under the weight of grief. One day, a charity organization visited his village, offering help and organizing a small community event. Someone heard Ernesto humming while sweeping debris and asked him to sing. Reluctantly, he did. That moment changed everything. People gathered. Phones came out. A short video of an old Filipino man singing Hotel California with raw emotion found its way online. It did not go viral immediately, but it reached the right eyes. A producer from America's Got Talent saw the clip late one night. There was something haunting about the way Ernesto sang. No tricks. No drama. Just truth. After weeks of searching and communication through translators, Ernesto received an invitation to audition in America. When he heard the news, he cried. Not because he believed he would win, but because someone finally listened. The journey to America was Ernesto's first time on an airplane. He clutched his borrowed guitar tightly, afraid that if he let go, the dream might disappear. When he arrived in Los Angeles, the city felt overwhelming. Tall buildings, endless traffic, people rushing everywhere. Ernesto felt small again, just like the boy who once listened to the radio in a dark room. Backstage at AGT, contestants warmed up nervously. Some practiced dance routines. Others rehearsed speeches. Ernesto sat quietly in a corner, eyes closed, whispering the lyrics of Hotel California like a prayer. He was not thinking about judges or fame. He was thinking about his wife, his village, and the years he had spent believing his voice did not matter. When his name was called, Ernesto walked onto the stage slowly. The audience clapped politely, unsure of what to expect. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, his expression neutral. He had seen thousands of auditions. Age and a guitar did not impress him anymore. Simon asked Ernesto why he was here. Ernesto spoke softly, his accent thick but his words clear. He said he came to sing because music saved him when life took everything else away. Something shifted in the room, but skepticism remained. Then Ernesto began to play. The first notes of Hotel California echoed through the theater, instantly recognizable yet different. Slower. Deeper. Every word carried decades of struggle. His voice cracked, not from weakness, but from honesty. The audience grew silent. Judges leaned forward. Simon's expression changed subtly, his eyes narrowing, not in judgment, but in attention. As Ernesto sang about being a prisoner of his own device, tears welled up in the eyes of audience members who had never experienced poverty, never lost everything, yet somehow felt his pain. This was not just a song. It was a confession. Halfway through the performance, something unexpected happened. Ernesto stopped playing for a moment. The crowd held its breath. His hands shook. Then he spoke, dedicating the song to his late wife, saying she was the reason he still believed in music. The audience erupted into applause, but Ernesto simply nodded and continued. By the final chorus, Simon Cowell was visibly emotional. He looked down, wiped his eyes, and shook his head as if trying to process what he was feeling. When the song ended, there was a second of complete silence. Then the entire theater stood up. Simon was the last to stand. When it was time for feedback, Simon struggled to speak. He admitted that he had almost dismissed Ernesto the moment he walked out. He said he had heard Hotel California thousands of times, but never like this. Never with so much life behind it. Simon's voice cracked as he said that Ernesto reminded him why music exists in the first place. The camera caught Simon wiping away tears, a moment that instantly became iconic. The judges unanimously voted yes. Ernesto fell to his knees, overwhelmed. He did not cry for himself. He cried for every dream he had buried and every person who had been told they were too old, too poor, or too late. But the twists did not end there. After the episode aired, the world responded. Donations poured in for Ernesto's village. His children, who had not spoken to him regularly in years, reached out with pride and regret. Musicians across the world praised his performance. The Eagles themselves acknowledged his rendition, calling it deeply moving. Yet fame did not change Ernesto. He returned to his village between rounds, rebuilding his home and buying guitars for local children. He said if music saved him, it could save others too. On the next AGT round, Ernesto did not sing Hotel California. He sang an original song written in his native language, translated on screen. It told the story of a man who lost everything but refused to lose his voice. The risk paid off. America listened. Whether Ernesto won the competition or not stopped mattering. He had already won something greater. He proved that talent does not expire, that pain can become beauty, and that sometimes the quietest voices carry the loudest truths. Today, Ernesto Reyes is no longer just a poor Filipino grandpa. He is a reminder to the world that dreams wait patiently, no matter how long it takes for us to return to them.